Lørdag det klart for den 8. sesongen med de populære tippekampene fra England.
Got any old programs?
What, this season?
Yeah.
Home?
Yeah.
Gerry and Aston Villa.
Is that the only one you've got? You got Brandbergen?
No.
You've got Everton?
No.
You've got West.
Can we help anybody?
You've got last season's Man United.
I supporterforretningene kan man kjøpe alle klubbens effekter. Omsetningen i klubbenes supporterforeninger vokset enormt de siste årene, og det alene blitt en stor industri i fotballens England. Overskuddet et viktig supplement til klubbenes økonomi. Cirka 80 av ligaens 92 klubber har økonomiske problemer, og klubbene skylder nå cirka 8 millioner pund, eller cirka 70 millioner norske kroner. For tusenvis av ungdommer lørdagen høydepunktet. Dette å kunne møte tidlig opp, få et glimt av spillerne, i heldigste fall autografene til sine helter når de haster av sted mot garderoben. Frank McLintock, Arsenals kaptein fra det store året 1971 og nå Queens Park Rangers stopper. Hvordan tar egentlig han alt oppstyret omkring kampene? Frank McLintock nervøs før en viktig seriekamp på lørdagen?
No, not particularly. I think maybe when you're younger, when you're maybe 19, 20, just coming into football, you can be pretty tense. But I mean, I'm 36 coming for 37 now. And I don't find that great pressure at all. I look forward to it, actually.
What are you doing on Saturday mornings before the kick-off?
We meet each other around about 11:30. We have a pre-match meal, all the players, and we just have our meal, very light lunch, like most footballers anywhere in the world, actually. And then just have a chat about the opposition and just watch the television, sometimes match of the day or whatever, and just relax until about 1:30 and then go to Queens Park Rangers then.
Queens Park Rangers tilskuertall på hjemmekampene har nå stabilisert seg på ca. 20 000. Dette medfører selvfølgelig store vanskeligheter også for politiet, for en del ungdommer benytter fotballkampene på lørdagene til å stelle stand bråk og pøbelstreker. Foran kampen mellom Queens Park Rangers og Sunderland så måtte ganske store menneskemasser sjekkes, kontrolleres av politiet før de slapp inn på banen. Queens Park Rangers kanskje det lag i England nå som mest ligner de kontinentale lagene i sin spillestil.
No, we just, it's a type of team that we have. We don't hit lots of long balls from the back up to the forwards. We usually build up the attacks from defence through midfield and then onto the forwards, which is a little bit different from most English side.
Sa Frank McLintock, som for tiden kaptein for Queens Park Rangers, her oppe og hilse på dommeren og Sunderlands kaptein foran oppgjøret i første divisjon, Queens Park Rangers Sunderland for noen uker siden i London. Dommeren klar. Engelsk fjernsyn, Brian Moore også på plass, og da kampen i gang. Og det Queens Park som spiller mot venstre. Queens Park har jo ikke begynt så særlig godt denne sesongen. Det kan skyldes at landslagskapteinen Gerry har vært skadet. Sunderland på sin side har heller ikke hatt en heldig tilbakekomst i første divisjon etter at de rykket opp i fjor, har fått svært få poeng, Sunderland, og vært en skuffelse så langt i første divisjon. Frispark for Queens Park Rangers. Via keeper og Frank McLintock fremme og setter ballen i mål. Frank McLintock som hver gang går frem på disse dødballsituasjonene for Londons laget. Under sin kommentar tok Brian Moore seg tid til å gi sine inntrykk til norsk fjernsyn om forholdene i engelsk fotball akkurat nå.
Good example of a lot of British football here. Webb just nudging it down to Hollins. And here's Hollins again. A lot of good effort and more skill really than a lot of people are prepared to give British football. Being played in little bursts. Gillard having quite a go at Greenwood there, and the ball falling now to Gibbons. Here's Bowles. Kelly playing it nice and wide there. Good skillful pass there to Dave Thomas. Now, will he take on Ashurst as he has so often in the first half? Onto the right foot. He's always looked dangerous doing that. He's certainly got the measure of the Sunderland number 2 today. Turned inside on this occasion, got it onto his favourite right foot, and just cracked it maybe a yard, no more, wide. I think the great thing that we're lacking, free kick there to Queens Park Rangers, are just one or two world-class players to lift the general standard, which in fact overall is very good indeed. Now it's Thomas. Well, he's got the beating of Ashurst again, turned in once more, and that time Tony Towers had to come to the rescue. It's not away yet. Hollins is there. A long, long cross again, but it won't reach Bowles. And in fact, Queens Park Rangers are a very good example of a British side that tries to play continental-type football. Their manager, Dave Sexton, is a man who has studied continental methods so much. And he's a very adventurous man, always looking to Europe for his ideas. And I think it's through this sort of lead that we shall get somewhere. We've got great club sides like Liverpool and Leeds and Derby. But I think it's going to be clubs like Queens Park Rangers. There's a good foundation in British football. And I think if the England manager, Don Revie, were to pick an England side, he could maybe pick 5 or 6 sides of equal merit. But one thing we're lacking is just maybe 2 or 3 players of real world stature that will lift us on a par with the best sides in the world, as we had in 1966 in the World Cup. Another good run by Thomas.
Takk til Brian Moore, ITVs mann i London. Disse bussene er med å formidle bilder som hver eneste lørdag vises over hele Skandinavia. Produceren gir sine beskjeder til kamerafolkene om hvilke bilder som skal velges ut, hvilke bilder som skal lages, og Brian Moore, kommentatoren, får også sine beskjeder.
Stand by, Brian. Are you going to promote the Grand Prix, Brian, or not?
Yeah.
Followed by the big match.
No, I'm not saying follow, because
No.
I can't say that.
No.
I'm going to say it.
What were you saying?
Let the music back a little bit to get more of those effects now and then.
Stand by, Brian.
Kampen Brian Moore kommenterte lørdag blir sendt søndag middag. Her forberedelser før han introduserer ITVs fotballsending.
Gerry, our friends in Norway are going to be watching a good deal of English football this winter, and yet so many people over here seem to think that English football is on the downgrade at the moment. As England skipper, how do you feel the state of the game is in this country?
Well, I think there's 2 different levels, Brian, really. I think that at club level, English football is thriving and will continue to thrive. I think that at international level, it's a bit more difficult in that you've got so many good players in England, and so many good clubs in England, that you could make so many good England teams and go out there with the same type of strength, you know, and it's a matter of getting the right blend, which you do at club level with only a certain amount of players.
You're captain not only of England but of Queen's Park Rangers, and I've already told our Norwegian friends that you are more like a continental side maybe than any other British side. Do you think there is a move towards a continental outlook in the game amongst our clubs here?
I think you know, I mean, I've got to be biased obviously, but I think Queen's Park Rangers play more like a continental side than any side in England, and I would like to see England play exactly the same as Queen's Park Rangers, but there again, you've got different players at Queen's Park Rangers playing for them. You know, sometimes some are Scottish, some are Irish, and they play differently. Whereas you play for England, you play with different players that play differently at their club. Kevin Keegan would play differently at Liverpool, with a big fella up front looking for knock-ons and certain aspects of the game which apply to that. And Stan Bowles would look to it to feet and different type of setup. And you have to go out there and you have to try and get your own blend with England, you know, which is going to take time.
Konkurrenten BBC sender sin fotball sent lørdag kveld. Jimmy Hill, tidligere spiller i Brentford og Fulham, manager i Coventry og nå også direktør i Coventry, forbereder kveldens sending. Hill har sett en kamp, men kommenterer ikke, bare presenterer stoffet, tar de nødvendige intervjuer og tar også for seg spesielle situasjoner i den kampen han har sett. Her foregår de siste forberedelser før kveldens store sending i BBC, Match of the Day.
Good evening. The race for the First Division Championship promises to be as open as it was last season. And tonight we see two of the
Så sendingen i gang, et program som blir sett av millioner av engelskmenn hver eneste lørdag. Senere sa Jimmy Hill dette da vi spurte om vi ville få se flere mål denne sesongen og mer attraktiv fotball fra engelsk første og andre divisjon.
Well, I'm always optimistic and I'm hopeful that we shall see more attacking football. I've been looking back on the match of the day statistics and they've averaged pretty consistently an average of 3 goals a game. And up to now, for the first part of the season anyway, until the last 2 weeks, we were beating that handsomely. So we have been seeing more goals.
Who is the most interesting team to watch in Britain today?
Most interesting teams to watch today were Manchester United because of their attacking policy, Queen's Park Rangers, without a doubt. West Ham, I always enjoy watching West Ham. They're having a bad time at the moment, but they produce a pattern of football that still is unique. They're good to watch. Ipswich are exciting. I watched them last Saturday. They're a good side. Manchester City. I think there are a fair few. Middlesbrough are the team, of course, that get criticised for being the most uninteresting because they've only scored 8 goals. But for me, even watching a team that's managed to restrict the number of goals scored against them so severely, that for me is interesting. I think, how are they achieving that? How are they managing to frustrate and not let balls go in their own net?
What about the championship this season? Who are going to win?
That's a very good question. If Liverpool weren't involved in Europe, I would go for Liverpool. And if they come out of Europe early, I think that might give them the championship. Manchester City have a very strong pool of players. I was looking at the match with Ipswich very closely last week because both of them should have possibilities of winning the championship. Derby County have started badly, Leeds. I don't think they're either are quite good enough or reformed enough to recover from that bad start, so I think we can discount them. Everton the other night were very competitive. They've got goal-scoring players in all 6 front positions. Everton might bring a surprise and battle it out at the end. Any of those. Queen's Park Rangers I haven't mentioned because they had a bad start. I don't think they'll quite do it this year. They're missing Gerry Francis, although Stanley Borst is in tremendous form.
Hvem som vinner det engelske førstedivisjonsmesterskapet blir avgjort i mai. Hva som mer interessant nå at Stan Bowles i strålende form, som dere så, skåret mot Sunderland og tatt ut i landslagstroppen som skal møte Italia i Roma onsdag den 17. november. Hvordan vurderer egentlig Jimmy Hill den kampen?
I don't think we should see many goals there. Of course, we are very worried about that match. There's no use pretending not. We didn't qualify for the last World Cup finals, narrowly. And Italy are probably the most professional opponents in the world. By that I mean more money goes into trying to produce a successful football 11 there than anywhere else. And that always makes them difficult to deal with. I think we have about a 50-50 chance.
Så Sunderland og Queens Park spillere ferdig med lørdagens kamp. For de fleste så det å reise hjem, men Frank McLintock, han har tenkt på en fremtid etter fotballen og startet sin egen bedrift, sin egen pub i Caledonian Road, som pussig nok ligger midt i hjertet av det distriktet som sogner til hans gamle klubb, nemlig Arsenal. Puben har blitt et samlingssted for alle fotballspillere, alle idrettsfolk i London, og norske fotballentusiaster som i London vet at de treffer fotballfolk i Frank McLintocks pub. Hvordan går det an å kombinere fotball og denne puben, Frank?
Well, normally I work about 4 evenings a week, but we're playing 3 matches every 8 days just now, Saturday, Wednesday, Saturday. So it makes it very difficult for me to come in, but it's well looked after by everyone here.
When did you decide to start this pub?
About just over a year ago. Prior to that, I had a wine bar. I don't know if they have them in Norway, but I had a wine bar on Fleet Street. But it wasn't too successful, and I decided to try a pub in London itself.
You are still playing very well in the Queen Park Rangers side. How long do you think you can play with Queen's Park?
I don't know, it's very difficult to say. If the team's playing well, you feel as though you can play on almost forever.
Isn't it very strange? This pub is in the old Arsenal area, and you are playing for Queen's Park Rangers?
No, not really, because I had 9 years at Arsenal, and I was lucky enough to be captain of the double side when we won the championship and the FA Cup. And I left Arsenal, and I still have a good rapport with the supporters of Arsenal. I still got on very well with them, and I think they regard me quite highly. So this is actually the best place I could start a pub.
Frank, what do you know about Norwegian soccer?
Not very much, apart from I got my first international cap in Norway when I played in Bergen, and I've just played against Brann Bergen just a couple of weeks ago. But apart from that, I don't know a great deal about them.
Have you much knowledge of Norway or Norwegian football yourself?
I've played in Norway quite a few times with Rangers. We've been there 3 or 4 times. I love the country. I think it's a tremendous country.
Where have you played?
I've played in Stavanger, Kristiansund, Hausen, Oslo, quite a few places there, against Viking in Stavanger. I'm sorry to say we always beat the Norwegians, but I've enjoyed it when I've gone there, and I like the people as well. So.
I know that there are a lot of Queen's Park Rangers fans who live in Norway, and they will know that you've not been playing this season because of a back injury. What's the latest on that, Gerry?
Yeah, I think there's about 2,000 came down quite a few times from Scandinavian countries last year to see Rangers, and are very, very popular over there. And I think they get the television live over there, so they would know they haven't been playing. And the situation really is that it's a lot better, 80% better, and possibly in a couple of weeks' time I might start light training.
Good.
Dermed sier vi takk til Frank McLintock og Gerry Francis, og håper at vi får se disse to i en av tippekampene i løpet av vinteren. La oss også håpe at tippekampene denne sesongen, den 8. sesongen, vil gi oss god underholdning, dramatikk, og ikke minst for alle fotballelskere i Norge, så håper vi på meget god fotball.